Dun. Turn this the hell down in my ear. Okay. Let's change this back. I want tired Becky. Hungover Becky. Thank you. Oh, shrink it down so I don't have that issue. Okay. What am I drawing? What am I drawing? What am I drawing? Do I want to do character art or do I want to mess around? You know what? Let's mess around. So, no. Apple cider requires a little bit more brain power than I want to start the day with. I'm like, I don't want to process that. Not right now, at least. I do want to use her for something, so I'll probably, whatever ideas I have, I'll probably save it for when I have time to make those art sets. Scrolling through the list of characters, who do I want to play around with today? I did think of wanting to use her, but the curse of having so many characters, whether they were originals or adopted. Yeah, maybe next time. It's mostly just because she's a centaur and that like requires me to think more on her. Plus I have to be careful what I draw on YouTube, so granted she should be covered up, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to do it right now. God dang it. You know what? Since I drew Nadine, let's draw Tiffany. It's been a while. Been a short bit since I drew her. Tiffany, where are you? There you are. Tiffany's all like, oh, alright, what are we doing, boss? And I was like, alright, so, get this. I'm like, yeah? And she's like, yeah. I'm gonna draw you, okay? And you're gonna be fat, motherfucker! I can totally see you getting pissed off of me drawing her fat again. That would be such a good pose, but I can't do that. At least not without covering the hell out of it. This is a good one. Alright. Have some Tiffany time. And I'm almost done with the current Fat Lovers Club set. I'm already in the middle of shading the last character. So after the stream, I'll finish that off. Rotate. There we go. And plus, there's not really much to Apple Cider wearing that outfit. All it is just cuffs. Cuffs and the bra and underwear. Or whatever you want to call it. Drawing Tiffany. Since I already drew Nadine on stream, might as well go down the list. So maybe another stream I'll draw Marcy. And maybe Secrets Blake. Or Fat Blake, since technically Blake can show up in a normal Blake can show up in a Secrets comic. Lounging around snacking. That's the morning idea that I have for this. And getting pissed off that she's being watched or something. Or filmed. I should probably have it do like a version where she's being recorded. Move her eye over. Make her look pissed. Might want to shrink down these a bit. You know what, let's draw these after I draw her face. I mean, I can literally draw any character doing whatever, like, when it comes to me just dicking around, none of the characters are locked into their themes. But when it comes to, like, making things for canon, then that's when I'm more strict with what they do. Because if it doesn't fit the character, then I'm not doing it. But if it's just for shits and giggles like this, then yeah, like, Tiffany is not a fat character. She has her own theme / gimmick later on whenever I do her actual story. So me just making her fat has mostly just been like a running joke because of her neutral ending version. And then of course her being used in the weight gain drive. But yeah, Tiffany is not normally a waking character. At least not since True Ending became a thing. At one point, she was going to be a zombie. Of course, that didn't make much sense if I were to go off of the lore of Neutral Ending. Because there wouldn't be anything to zombify. Color scheme for who? Oh, for Jay? I haven't decided. I will probably decide whenever I draw her. Or like whenever I draw like a specific picture for her herself. Let's give her fatter cheeks. Clean up your eyes a bit. There we go. Let's see. There we go. Probably should save that for later, but whatever. Haven't decided yet. Debating on if I'm just gonna have her wear casual clothes or maybe put her in like beachwear. Or I could even have her at home, so she's wearing like loose, or well, whatever clothing she's lounging around in, and wasn't expecting to have company. Seriously, I feel like you have to be high to listen to this soundtrack. Yeah, that could work. And have her be like, look, if you're gonna stare at me all day, go buy me something to eat. Like, or go grab me another sandwich. Make that 3. She'll be like, fine, you can stay, but you're getting me food. I should probably make a save file for this so I don't lose anything. Let's call this beach day for now in case I change my mind. Yeah. Could just have her like with like a bunch of different snacks and food around her. Give her ponytail in a bit. Well, I'll do that after I draw the rest of her. Just have her be pissed off. Make her muzzle more round since she's plumped up. put this, some of this as a placeholder. Probably not, because he's pretty knowledgeable on how things would look beforehand, and it would just be a waste of time. Plus, it's not. Plus, you know, jewelry is heavy, so he's not gonna like go crazy trying to have his tall, thin wife wearing a shit ton of metal. Could I do it for fun? Sure, but it's not going to be like a realistic thing that the characters would do. Not without help. Have her pointing while she's holding her ice cream, telling them to go get her something if they're gonna stay. Just her belly. No, it's Tiffany. I just haven't put all of her features on yet. Like, she's missing like her cheek fuzz, markings, and ponytail, and whatever else. Her eyes are rather small though, so let me tweak that a bit. I mean, if we're gonna emphasize her features, it's likely just gonna be a bikini. Unless I'm gonna put her in a long shirt. Or a tight shirt at this point. I mean, obviously, depending on what you're drawing, you're gonna be limited to whatever your gimmick is, or whatever the part that's supposed to be eye-catching is. Can you make it interesting? Sure, but I mean, let's just not kid ourselves. We're gonna make her wear a bikini. Actually, what did I have before? Yeah, that was fine. I just want to make some tweaks to it. There we go. Fuck it, I'll make her wear that golden bikini thing. No, she was a archaeologist who happened to find the tribal stuff, and now she's kind of trapped with the tribe doing their daily rituals, or possibly weekly, whichever the story makes more sense. Daily would kind of make less sense. But I don't know, whatever I decide, whenever I get around to doing her story more. Yarn's a little thicker. A little shorter than that. No. Unless I do some random art set, then the answer is no. Or if you're asking me, will they have friends that are mods? Maybe. That's I don't know. If I feel the need to, sure. Like, I'm not against them having friends that are mods, but it's unlikely. Maybe Caitlyn might have friends that are mods, but it's unlikely for Marcy to know people that are mods, because modifying themselves is expensive to begin with. So unless it's like... So unless it was like for a medical emergency or something and like their parents had it done or something like that, then sure, but on their own, no. Because it's supposed to be both like a fad and semi-illegal in certain cases. Because some people who get themselves modified usually do it to commit crimes. If they've been outfitted with weapons. And that's when I realized that I don't do that with Tiffany. Gonna have to adjust the canvas at some point. I'll do that later. So yeah, once I get her main pose all fleshed out, then we'll start making adjustments to her. So yeah, definitely gonna have to make this bigger. Try that and see how much I need later. Yeah, basically, it heavily just depends on location and stuff like that. Because, at a private school, there's the other Marcy who is a machine, but that's because she's, like, has her memories copied into a robot body, because she has a illness similar to what Blake's, foster mother had. And so in scenarios like that, yes, she would technically... Well, in her case, it's not necessarily being a mod, it's more that she just has a robot that has her memories. A mod would indicate that at least her brain is in there with whatever modifications. Like, at least there's like organic parts still. So basically cyborgs. But yeah, in Marcy Amber's case, she's a consciousness that was copied into another body. Rather than remote control. Make some of this bigger. Oh, that's weak. Oh, she is on the floor. Once I get everything else fleshed out. Hello. Nope, this is Tiffany. If we're talking about the character that Marcy and Skylar meet, that's a whole different thing. Marcy Amber is more machine based, and she doesn't have like lava lamp stuff. And she's definitely legal. She doesn't have any weapons. Because she attends a school, so she had to have been looked at. Yeah, it's probably because I drew the face chunkier than normal. Like I didn't give. Plus, she's a bit looking in an angle, so you're not seeing her usual longer snout. Because she's looking more forward. So it could be that. And she's still missing features like her cheek fur and stuff like that. I haven't drawn her with all of her features yet. Oh, for Caitlyn, it would probably be fashion stuff. So yeah, you gotta be more specific when you're mentioning characters or when you're talking about stuff. Because I'm thinking we're still on the same subject as going. Well, I was talking about Marcy Amber, so I don't know if you were. Didn't know if you were bouncing off of that or not. But yeah, if it was like somebody Caitlyn knew or at least came across, then yeah, more likely it would be a fashion thing. Like a probably not legal modification, but if it's like not that big of a deal, then it'll probably be ignored. It was like, oh look, now I have LCDs in my hair or some shit like that, or oh my eyes are screens or something. The screens might get looked at just to make sure they can't do something they're not supposed to, but other than that, like having LCDs in your hair isn't gonna make authorities give a shit. Like you might get stops just to make sure that's the only mod that you have, but other than that. And none of the mods are like super seamless. Like unless your insides are machinery and the rest of you is organic, then most likely it's going to be noticeable. How do I want to do this? I guess we'll do it this way. Didn't like that. Maybe I'll come back to it later. I don't know because I never played Cyberpunk 2077. I'm just thinking of it like a typical Cyberpunk theme, so that's probably what 2077 does. I mean, it's pretty basic, like, it's not new. Like, if you watched any cyber-based show or anime or story, they're all basically the same. Like, even Batman Beyond had stuff like that. I have no idea how we got into them being a lizard. Like, if you're trying to come up with ideas, just draw them yourself. Like, you don't have to bounce off of iHat. Good morning. I think her legs would be more. So let's get that. There we go. Nope, not Big Kitty. It's Big Foxy. So, Big Tiffany. I'll probably draw Marcy in another stream. I don't know if I'll do it for tonight's. I mean, maybe I will. I don't see why not. Kind of make each day locked into a theme. So yesterday was Sonic characters. Today would be the favorite fatties. Maybe tomorrow I'll work on character art or work on comics on stream or something. I know literally nothing about Cyberpunk 2077. I wanted to watch the anime, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I almost forgot, actually. I was like, oh yeah, there's an anime. I should probably watch that. Just because I like the character Rebecca. I've seen like a clip or two of her, but that's about it. Mostly just the screenshot of her holding the gun to the one character's face. But that's mostly just because, and the only reason why I know of that is because people would draw Cream the Rabbit from Sonic holding the gun. And I always thought that was fucking funny. So yeah, that made me interested in watching the anime. So at some point I'll have to look into that, or watch that at least. I'm sure I would like 2077 as a game, but I'm just not really that interested in it. Like, my biggest gripe with games like that is like, we can spend all our time modifying our characters, but yet we always have to look fucking human. And of course that's my furry bias coming in, but it's like, oh come on. Let me be like some fucking cybernetic alligator man with a drill tell or whatever fucking nonsense that I can think of. It's like, it always feels like people lock themselves into like a particular standard for this stuff, and they don't try to go out of the box. Like anytime you think of medieval stuff, even when there's magic, it's always the same thing. And granted, medieval is more of a time period thing, but it always feels like you're locked into a particular role or archetype, and it's like, oh, well, you're the human guy running around. Up, there's a bunch of monster people, but nope, you can't play as them. And whenever you can play as them, you don't really do much as a difference of being a different race. So it always just feels underwhelming. Yeah, there's mods that can do that, but I would like for a game to naturally be that way and not require other people to tweak it. Like, I just want a developer to actually go balls in and do it. And granted, if I had the ability to make a fucking game, I would totally do it. I would 100% commit to doing something like that. Like no hesitation. But I am working with what I can. And we're definitely going to tweak that later once I get her body positioned. I definitely want her fatter, so that's gonna happen. Then have her like hold herself up, trying to scold this person. But yeah, I'm more annoyed that despite, you know, gaming becoming more detailed and stuff like that, we're still doing the same shit. And I understand to some degree why that is. It's because it's like, oh, well, it's good for marketing because we'll have so-and-so on the front cover and that person is this ethnicity or this gender or looks this way because they look like a famous star or some bullshit like that. Or in some cases, you know, you have like Master Chief who in full armor and stuff like that. So if the armor looks cool, then yeah, there's that. But it's like, man, we are really just not going to have any anthropomorphic characters have spotlights, and even when they do have the spotlight, they're usually locked into being cartoony looking. And I'm just like, like, I get it, but I hate it. Oh yeah, I would totally, like, okay, because I don't know much about programming and I do know some editing software stuff. I'm thinking of just making an I have visual novel thing, but just make it like a YouTube video. So just make it in the style of a visual novel, but just make it a video. Because that's what I've been sitting on that for a while now, and I want to do it, but I'm waiting for the 23rd for the whole Webtoons contest thing to see what's going on with that. And if that goes through and like nothing happens, or it's like, oh, okay, I don't move on or whatever, and I'm free, then yeah, I want to definitely work on that because I've been sitting on ideas for that for quite some time, and now I want to actually do them. Yes, she does have cute fat feet, but she needs to be fatter. So right now I'm just getting her position solidified before I start tweaking her. I'm like, alright, cool, we got you in a laying down position, now we're gonna make you fatter. But yeah, I definitely want to do a visual novel type of animatic. Because if I can't program, I will do the next best thing. And granted, I do have a program to make visual novels, but I just haven't had the time for that. And I figured I should just do it a different way. Like, just do it in a way that works for me. So yeah. And if I do it, I'll probably start small and work my way up. So I'll do like a simple story for one, and then when I do another one, can get more interesting. Hips don't lie, I know, right? Yeah, I have it. I just haven't practiced with it. There's probably an updated version of it by now because I've had it for like a few years. So if I do try to use it, I'm gonna look for the latest version and then look up tutorials. So yeah, like all this stuff I've looked into, I just haven't had the chance to really put time into it. And that's partially because, you know, I'm doing stuff for like Patreon and stuff like that, so just one of those things where I'd have to have the time for it. Maybe when I have I Had 2 and Black Circus 1 storylines finished, I might try to work on something like that, but we'll see how I feel when the time comes. Because it might be just easier just to make like a video, because I definitely know what I'm doing when I'm in that area, and it would be less time consuming. We're definitely gonna make her boobs bigger. Yeah, it's probably not hard to learn once I understand what I'm doing, but you know, it's intimidating. It's like every new thing that you learn. It just seems intimidating at first until you get the hang of it. So it's probably not as bad as I'm thinking. But I've been more occupied with working on comics and such. And since that's the case, I think making a video would be a lot easier. The only downside would be whether or not it has voice acting. Because personally, I'd probably just keep it voiceless, and if people feel like doing acting or whatever, that they can do that on their own time. Or if I want, I can try doing text to speech type of stuff and go from there. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel about everything when I have the chance to actually work on it. Okay, no. Anyway, you're getting bigger boobs. Because I want them to look like... We gotta draw her top anyway. Are you familiar with Vulcan Fox's Pirates of Fate? I'm familiar with it. I just haven't seen any gameplay of it. Like, I've seen screenshots of it, but that's about it. And I think the trailer for it, like, a long time ago. Vulcan Fox does good work. Vulcan Fox, Goblin Horde Studios. I mean, the list goes on. I have, like, literally folders of every artist that I like. And every once in a while, update them whenever I come across new stuff. Like, I've been updating that stuff since I was like 13, so I have so much fucking saved content. Which is why it almost devastated me back in 2017 when I thought I lost everything. But was luckily able to salvage it and save it. Took me a week though. God knows how long it would take for me to do that now. Seriously, I think the soundtrack for this game, you have to be high. It's like if you didn't know if you knew the name of, if anybody who did not know where this music was coming from and then found out the name of the game, they'd be like, what? This is from Sonic Shuffle. Let that sink in. What was the inspiration for iHat? Well, originally I was going to make like a weight gain comic at some point. When I was making comics and stuff like that. But the initial thing that got it going was okay, there's two things to it. So the original idea for iHat was using completely different characters. Like Marcy was not a thing for the original iHat, and there's only like one or two references to the character in like the special edition. There's like concept art of that character, but what caused iHat to come out in the way it did with Marcy and Skylar was because I couldn't read the comic called Hetty, because the artist for the comic, or creator of the comic, kind of went crazy from people posting their artwork online, and whether it be public pages or pages from their I think they had a Patreon at the time. They don't now because of other reasons, but basically they were getting their work posted, so they basically went scorch earth. Or not even scorch earth, they just locked all their content away. So like at first you had to like pay him to even and be in this like certain pay group to even see the comic. Then it got to the point where he just no longer allows new people to view his content. And so by the time I had come across Hetty, it was on, I think publicly it was on part 4, I think. But by the time I came across it, he had already locked up his content, so like nobody new could view it. And so because I couldn't read Hetty anymore, I just said, screw it, I'll make my own weight gain comic, because I was motivated at that point out of spite. And here we are. So after all that, here we are. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the fact that you said it's been a while since I heard that name. That's kind of part of the author's problem, is that he's making all this stuff to try to get more attention and stuff like that, but then he's preventing new audience from experiencing his work. Because like right now with the content that he's making, like, okay, so with one of the comics or content that he's making, let's just say you come across this comic, and his comic was on like page 100, right? And it took 100 days to get to page 100, and you just now came across their comic, and their comic is and like you just came across their comic, and their comic's on page 100, and it took 100 days to get to that point. If you just came across their comic and wanted to read it, it would literally take you 100 days to catch up to that page number that you came across, if you wanted to support the comic artist. So by the time you got to page 100, they would be on page 200, and it would take you that long to catch up. And that is the problem. This is actually Tiffany. I just haven't given her all of her features yet, because I'm busy tweaking her body. But welcome. Funny enough, I am drawing Pokra in another picture that's almost done. Yeah, and that's the problem. and like there was a moment where he made it so that you could pay to catch up to a certain number of pages or whatever, but that was like years ago. And like currently the author is on like hiatus because he's trying to turn one of his comics into an animation, but it's almost been like 2 years since he's been working on that, and he's trying to like make it sound like it's more interesting than it actually is, because he's trying to say like, oh, here we're learning techniques that even high profile animators haven't done, like, you know, Pixar or whatever. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, don't even start. Like, it's you're trying to make a vor animation, you keep saying that it's coming out on certain months, but it's been like months since you said that, and there's been clear like problems with production and stuff like that, and it makes me wonder if they understand how to do a proper content farm or render farm and stuff like that. There's been so many problems that he's been talking about, and I'm just sitting there going like, dude, I don't know why you took now to do this with your comic, because like the comic's not even done. It's in the middle of whatever the hell the characters were doing, and he's trying to turn it into an animation. And it's like, dude, you put your comic on a 2-year hiatus, or it could be almost 3 years, honestly, but like a 2-year hiatus, and you have nothing to show for it. And when you did have something to show for it, it was just nothing. Like, it didn't amount to anything really. It was just, hey, look, we have the character modeled and it's rigged and it's moving, and that's kind of it. It was like, what, a minute long? And granted, animation takes a long time. Like, I'm not gonna just say like, you know, hey, you should have this done in a week type of thing. Although some people are crazy enough that they probably could get it done in a week. But like, he just went 100% the wrong approach for this, or for that, and I have no idea if he really knows what he's doing. And then he's trying to like pay other people to help him work on it and stuff like that. So he has like a team of people working on his animation, all that. But there's always problems. Like, every time there's an update, there's always problems. And he keeps thinking like, oh, we'll have something in a week, or we'll have something in the next month or two. And then it's like 5 months later. And then one of the other big problems, which I don't understand why he's still doing this, is he has a Subscribe Star now, and he has 2 of them, and that he updates. One has been updated more than the other, and so like the one that's currently updated is in June right now, because he just updated like a week or 2 ago. But the other one is still like 2 months behind, and they have no idea what the fuck is going on because he doesn't update it. So I'm like, so not only do you have to subscribe to whichever one that you're interested in just to see his content, you have to pray that it's even being updated, and then you have to pray that you're even in the know of what's going on, because he doesn't update one of them, so you don't know that he's been sitting on other bullshit for months because he doesn't update the other channel. So if you're subscribed to one and you don't know this, you're just gonna be sitting there thinking that he hasn't done anything for months, or that he's not updating his work, or he's like just left or something, or he's like just ghosting his channel. So you literally have to be following his other account, or else you're gonna be in the dark, and he's likely going to lose support, and then he won't. And then if he's trying to gain new support, because he says that one of the reasons why he wants to do animation is because he wants to get new traffic and new attention and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's a good idea. The problem with that is that you punish people for being new. So if nobody's heard of you and they suddenly come across your work, and they find out that that in order to catch up to where the comic is or whatever content, they literally have to wait the same amount of time that the people who have been following it along forever now have had to spend to get to the comic. So it's just going to make new people not want to be interested, because it's like, hey, I saw a screenshot of so-and-so character getting super fat and all that. How long will it be before I catch up to that? And if he tells you, oh, it's going to take you 3 years to get to that point that you just saw him post on preview, you're not gonna want to read. You're not gonna want to support that because you're not gonna wait fucking 3 years just to catch up to the comic page that you just now saw today. You're not gonna wait 3 years to see something you saw today. Like, I don't know what the hell kind of idea that is. It's gatekeeping, but it's gatekeeping to such a degree that nobody would even care. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't update anything, so nobody knows what the fuck he's doing. And at this point, we've gotten to the point where people don't even know what the hell Hetty even is. That's how bad it's gotten. Because every once in a while, when I do mention it, people are like, what's Hetty? And then I have to go through this long explanation of that. And then they're like, oh, wow. And then they move on because it's like, well, that's the problem. And he's trying to like get past that problem, but he's his own worst enemy. And the sad part is, he does great artwork, but now he's been trying to like move that to CG and animation, and he's even thinking of just making bundles of AI so that way if there's ever like a dry spell, he can just crank out a bunch of AI art or AI images to fill in the gaps. And he's just self-sabotaging himself at this point. And I'm just like, I don't, like, dude, you literally had a good thing going. What are you doing? And then all of his explanations make no fucking sense. The real Hetty was the friends we made along the way. I mean, in my case, yeah. because of Hetty, I basically said, screw it, I'll do my own thing, and here I am with a bunch of people that like what I do, and even when I draw stuff that they're not necessarily interested in, they like the characters, so they follow for that. So, yeah. Not even AI chapters, just like, say he's taking a while working on an animation or something, he's just gonna crank out AI stuff just to fill in the dry spells. Like, just random images of his characters doing whatever. And I'm just sitting there going like, dude, you can draw. What are you doing? Right? And he even said that he was thinking of selling them too. And at first he made it seem like he wasn't gonna do that, but then he did clarify that he was thinking of selling them. So I'm like, so you're going to sell AI art, or you're thinking of selling AI art, and you're it was just this whole thing. And I'm just like, I literally don't know what you're doing. Like, none of the things you're doing make any goddamn sense. And I even tried explaining this to him in like to such a degree where I even told him tips like, look, if you want to keep stuff behind a paywall or whatever, fine, whatever, you know, if you need to put food on the table, I completely understand. But if you're self-sabotaging yourself to such a degree where new people get punished just for not knowing you existed, then what the hell are you doing? It's like if somebody came across Sonic and Shadow Generations, but they can't play it because they have to start from Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Genesis, and it will literally take them fucking 30 years to be able to play Sonic and Shadow Generations just because they're new. It's like, why would you do that, ever? Yeah, like, after the 23rd, that's when I'm gonna, like, go through the products that I want to work on and try to make a schedule, because I want to do the Marcy versus Hetty thing. I want to do the next Waking set. I want to do the visual novel idea. I want to try animating again. There's a lot I want to do, but I'm kind of waiting a bit so that way I know what I'll be working on. So after the 23rd, which should be like concrete, hey, I'm doing blank type of thing. I'm you, but better. I do remember that one time he said that Marcy was, or at least my comic was like an inferior version. And I was just like, sure. Like, I know my artwork isn't amazing, but I'm just like, well, you made it happen this way. He did try to warn me once where one of my followers was posting my comics in Spanish, and he tried to let me know that that was the case. And I told him, thank you for letting me know, but that person does have my permission to translate my comics into. Oh no, not Spanish. I think it was Hungarian, and I let him know that that person had permission. So at least he was looking out for me on that. Alright, got all that, but need more thick. Seriously, if I told anybody that this was Sonic music, they would think I was crazy. I'm you, but fatter. Exactly. I mean, at this point, yeah, like, I have no idea where Hetty is at this point. And like one of the weird things he said too when I had conversations with him was that he says when people lose interest of Hetty, then he'll stop making the comic and move on, or whatever the case may be. And I was like, well, people are going to lose interest because he said like there's like barely any support for it now. And I'm like, well, people are going to lose interest because they don't even know it exists anymore, or there's been like no updates on his DeviantArt, so people think that the comic's dead. Because I think whatever's been posted, he just posted like the censored or like visually messed up versions of the pages just because people leaked his stuff. So he just made like censored versions of it. That like not like the typical censorship, like, oh, you see a nipple, put a black bar type of thing. I'm talking like he put like a whole filter over the pages that he posted just so it would match the leaked versions. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he just does not know how to capitalize on this scenario. Or he just doesn't want to. In his mind, it's like admitting defeat, from what I understand. And I'm just like, dude, you gotta know how to read the room. Well, she's still stuck in the past, isn't she? Marcy's literally moved on in life. Settle down. Yeah, because like all the last time I know of where Hetty updated was the next day after she was at the restaurant with the horse guy, or with the donkey guy, which honestly is like the worst addition to the story. and she was trying to make some kind of offer to Jimmy. That's it. That's like the most I know. Because it was like 2 pages from like after like years of nothing, just like 2 pages. Oh yes, there are definitely people who still act like they're in high school, and it is disturbing. But yeah, it's just this whole ordeal, and it's like really, like, I'm surprised he's still going from the lack of support or whatever support he does have. Like, those people are hella dedicated at this point. I think they're all just waiting. At this point, it's like whenever the Heady comic ends or whatever the case may be, they're just gonna say screw it and completely upload the whole damn thing. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, I just don't know. Tiffany talked about how great I am. Yeah, let's talk about Fat Tiffany here. where she's being gawked at by somebody and then saying, "Okay, fine. If you're gonna stand there and stare, then go get me some more food." Make her shoulder more rounded. If there is, like, I can see it going 2 ways. Either the comic keeps going, either Hetty keeps going, and it will get to its eventual end after a extremely slow pace, or the creator is just gonna say fuck it, end it in some unfulfilling way or some bullshit way, like, oh, it was all a dream, or just kills the characters, or just rushes the ending where she gets caught, or whatever nonsense that happens, and then it's just gonna be dead. Like, everyone's gonna see the pages when they get leaked because you know somebody will leak them, and then it's just gonna die like nothing. People are gonna look at it going like, really, that's it after all this time, and then move on. Oh, the weight gain drive with Tiffany. Yeah, that was a fun one. Eventually, I will make that canon for a different character though, because I want to draw the CEO of Big Burgers, and I want like a new character to do what Tiffany does in the weight gain drive, but like with a more like fleshed out story, like an actual like sequence, like you see here, go from skinny to fat over time because she can't get enough of the big burgers. So yeah, there is an idea for that. And there was like one idea where it's like somebody does uh eating contest and wins, and basically gets like everything that she ate from during the contest she gets for free, and then she realized a loophole where she could just order it again and get it for free, and she would just do that constantly, at least until they prevent her from doing so. The god. Okay, let's give her a ponytail. Yeah, this music had to be made when everybody was fucking high. They're like, what are we gonna do for the music for this game? And they just smoked the entire fucking bowl. Or no, they took fucking hallucinogens from fucking from like tribes or some shit. They just said, "Fuck it." Well, I like, yo, I got this good shit from a random tribe. He's like, "What do you mean you got it from a random tribe?" And he's like, "Well, he seemed legit, and he was laughing as he sold it to me." I thought he was. It's like, wait, he was laughing at you as you bought it? Yeah, I thought he was just really happy. And then they took a hit of this shit, and here we are. I know, right? Something about ponytails. For me, it's something about bangs, and long hair. Don't always need them both at the same time, but definitely bangs. Was that a Sonic for Hire reference? I have no idea. Probably. It's been a while since I've watched that. Oh my god, are we at the end? No, we are not. Oh my god, we still have fucking 14 minutes of this. Bangs, long hair, and glasses. Maybe make a little bit of blush, like she's a little embarrassed that some weirdo is staring at her because she's a blimp. Just a little bit. It's like, I thought glasses were invented so we could see better. Fuck no. It's to make women hotter. For a brief moment I was like, oh yeah, I should probably add her the bottoms to her bikini. That would probably be an idea. Actually, realistically, it would be in somewhere over here. Fupa, yeah or nay? I'm fine with it. Am I seriously hearing a song that has like someone just zipping something the entire time? Oh yeah, it's just because she's looking forward that her snout looks shorter. But I'll look on Discord. It's mainly because she's looking forward. But yeah, I can fix that. I'll do that right now just so it's less confusing. Turn that off. Yeah, let me just finish her ass. So let me do this side too so I don't forget. A little bit more pinch. But yeah, I'll give her a longer snout. Or make it more visible that it's longer. How's that? quick nose job. Kind of want to give her a thicker chin. A little fluff on it. Okay, now for her fur patterns, which kind of don't really matter when she's fat. Oh, we're actually at the fanfares for now, for once. Damn, we're getting close to the end of this. Thank you. Yeah. Let's tweak this a bit. I'm surprised the lack of like familiar Sonic themes in this game. There's not even like one like repeated melody from another game so far, or like a remix version. Bun Bash. Haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. Let me have that up on another screen. The art style looks familiar, but it's probably not from who I think it's from. Yeah, I don't think this is the same person that I'm thinking. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. Mr. Peculiar. No, I don't recognize that name. And to make my life easier, seriously, this music sounds like it was intended for a completely different game. Like a Knights game that just didn't get off the ground, so they just threw it into this. And I think all this is from a cutscene, from what it sounds like. So many touch-ups. Well, they did make that game for the Wii, which I enjoyed. I had fun playing that one. Journey of Dreams. But yeah, hopefully they make a new one. What kind of voice does Tiffany have? I would say she has more of a Valley Girl type of voice. It's really hard to like I would have to listen to a bunch of voices and try to pin down what she would sound like. Like maybe like Clover from Totally Spies, but just like a little bit more strict, if that makes sense. Or like a little bit more like she's looking down on you type of tone. Like not as high pitched, but more like it's really hard to explain. Cunty, yeah. No, not Jennifer Tilly. Her voice. Who would I apply that to? Maybe one of the Creamfield characters would have that kind of voice. But yeah, Tiffany's like a cunty Valley Girl. It's like that's like the best way to put it. Because she's a mega bitch, so like kind of like maybe one of the characters from Honey Pop would fit. Because I could totally see that. Who is that? I'd have to hear her voice again. But maybe. She was Julie from Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for Tiffany. See, I can remember shit like that, but I can't remember like the person. It's like I don't know what that sounds like. Oh, she's so and so from this. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that. At this point, would you even see her collarbone? She's so fucking fat. Anyway. Oh yeah, her boobs do that. So let me grab a reference of her chest just so I don't get this wrong. It's like, you've drawn me how many times, bitch? I try to being fucking accurate with a lot of shit. No, definitely wasn't in there. That was 17. Yes, it is 17. Naked Tiffany. Thank you. And there's not really much to it. Move this over. Just me knowing Jennifer Tilly made you feel better and not old. Well, I mean, she still does Family Guy, doesn't she? So she's pretty current still. Assuming Family Guy is still going. Which I believe it is. I don't know, I haven't watched the newer stuff in forever. I mostly just watch older episodes. Get her chest fur. Oh yeah. I've only seen Monster Inc. like a couple of times. Alright. Do your hand or arms. And I'm gonna turn this so I don't go fucking crazy. Big meaty thighs. Not the only thing with some meat on her. Trying to do more smaller details. As well as clean up a few things. Trying to show that she's big and fluffy. Be like laying on a warm pillow. I can see somebody doing that where it's like have like a fat character and then someone just falls asleep on top of her. And she's like, hey, I didn't say you could fall asleep. And then they're just like pass the fuck out, and then she like doesn't argue and just lets it happen. No, it won't go on speed paint because this isn't a speed paint. Although I could try to start trying to save these as a speed paint. I'd have to have like another recording thing open to save the data. So maybe I'll try that with tonight's stream to see if I can do that. But this will go on into the stream section of on YouTube. because like all of the streams have been in the live section on YouTube, or in the streams folder, or channel folder thing, whatever that thing is, what they're called on YouTube. Maybe add some really stretchy gold chains around her waist. No. She would think that, like, depending on the outfit, she'd probably think that was tacky. She'd be like, gold chains, which century are you living in? Yeah, I'll need to make more speed paint videos. They just take time because of rendering. Because while I'm rendering those to make videos on it, I can't draw. So that's like however long they take to make. I can technically speed up the process a little bit because due to it being a speed paint video, it's not like we need 60 frames a second or anything like that. So I can make them 30 frames, but it just takes a while. But yeah, I'll try to see if I can record the next stream that I do separately, because the problem with this stream is, like, I could turn this stream into a speed paint, but the problem is that you're going to be seeing Becky all over it. And like the chat and all that, so it kind of just ruins the whole speed paint part of it. Or like the focus. So yeah, I'll try to see if I can make like a separate recording of the stream itself and go from there. I think there's a way to do it in the program I'm using, but if not, then I have another program that can do it. Being a pushy doll. I wouldn't say she's a dom necessarily, but she is definitely the assertive type. Because like she doesn't have a problem letting a guy have their fun, but she's definitely not gonna do something where she doesn't get anything out of it. At least not normally. Anyway, almost done putting on these details on her. Trying to see what else. Oh well, still near her tail. Well, actually, I don't think we're gonna be seeing her tail anytime soon. Her tail does not get bigger along with her. It doesn't work like that. Her tail is way behind her at this point. A little bit on the arms. Alright, there we go. I could see her wearing like a bracelet for something. Like maybe she has a bracelet and that gives her like free ice cream or some shit. But nah, because like I'd have to go into the whole narrative about that. But I will give her something because her arm is kind of barren. I'll give her like a little bracelet around her hand. And I'll make it one of those stretchy ones. Those things with like the elastic in it. So I'll have the elastic be kind of pulled between segments. Just a little bit, like nothing crazy. Let's spread this out a little bit more. There we go. You might see the very tip of her brush just past her shoulder. Make her cuter. It's just like an alternate Tiffany. Like this is just a random fat pic of Tiffany. This picture means absolutely nothing. This is just done for the stream for fun. A little bit of squish. Because the elastic can only do so much. Maybe make her hands just a little bit chunkier. Happy impending Fat Fox week. Oh yeah, I watched that episode with the mosquito lawyer, and most of the time I was just thinking, damn, they could have made her huge, but they pussed out on it. From all the blood sucking that she was doing. I was like, damn it, you pussed out. Put like the strings of her bikini on the sides. So that way it's a little bit easier for her to get this off. And like after that, I was just like, fine, I'll make my own mosquito character with blackjack and hookers. Fuck, what was the name of that show? I forget the name. I can find it on my history for YouTube. History. Where is it? Dun, dun, dun. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Santo Bagito. I'll type it in here. Yeah, yeah, KRS got it. Yeah, like I watched the episode and I thought it was fun. But then, like, as it got to the point where she was sucking, like, pretty much the entire town, I was like, damn, we didn't get to the part where she's a fat fuck. Like, we saw her abdomen, like, enlarge a few times, but that was, like, the most we ever got. And all that did was just make me go, fine, I'll make my own fucking mosquito character. Fuck it. And I'll make her in the same vein as the movie Land of the Lost, with that one mosquito scene. Yeah, I think I might have seen that show like one time back when it aired. Like an episode or two. But it probably just didn't gel with me the way like Ah Real Monsters or Wild Thornberries did. I like that they have like a distinct art style though. Because they made that the McDonald's cartoon too at one point. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the markings on our ears. There we go. Alright, I think we are done with her line art. He says as he thinks about making her fatter. Thoughts? I'm like, just a skosh. Just a little bit more. There we go. Be like Bob Ross, be like, and that'll just be our little secret. Was that a little bit more cushion over here? And that'll be our little secret. Like, you know what? She could put on a few more pounds, and that'll just be our little secret. Just gotta move over her patterns a bit. Alright, so here's Beach Whale Tiffany. A little loop for laces over here. Okay. Alright, guess I didn't need all that extra space. Wasn't sure. But I can definitely save on canvas size. There we go. Make our lives easier. Alright, now I need her colors. I definitely can't use that. Tiffany, where are you? There you there you are. Damn. Drink some water. She does look like she's in the Buddha pose, doesn't she? Alright, put her over here just so got something more to look at. Some parts of her are lighter than they used to be. Do I still use the same white? Hold on, let me check her Fat Lovers Club version, or her weight gain version. Tiffany. Was I using the same color palette? Hold on. Enhance. Looks the same. Let's find out. Are these the same white? The answer is yes. Just not her. Is there Solera? No, the Solera is different. Okay. So yeah, it's the same colors, just the Solera is different. I'm a simple person with simple needs and wants. I know, right? It's like, look, my buttons are very easy to press. It doesn't take much. That's why certain animations will forever, certain shows and animations and comics will forever give me motivation. Like, I can be sitting there going like, man, I don't know what to draw. Look up something that I like all the time and just be like, oh my god, I got an idea. And then that's my week. Okay. Don't think there's much else to fill in. Now the true question is, do I want to color her hair? Or do I want to do her fur? Well, it should be fine because the hair can be its own thing, so yeah. So do that so I don't have to color her hair. And then... oh, we're already done with that? Yeah, to a degree they're likely happier like this, given their canonical history. Yeah, we'll just do her head separately. I can fix that. Do it like this, because it saves me so much headache. Gotta learn to think smarter, not harder. That's something you're gonna have to figure out. Because there are multiple ways you can go about that. Perfect for children with no nails. She is a showgirl dancer who has a card. She's that pink flamingo that you would see every once in a while in like backgrounds. I think there's one in Nadine's artwork with her scratching her ass in front of the fridge. I think the artwork is in there, if I remember correctly. Like, let me check. I can't put it up on stream, but let me check if it's in there. Da-da. Nadine. Yeah, it's in that one. Like, I'm sure I posted it publicly. Like, let me find it, because I know I have it on, like, DeviantArt or something. I can just look up her name. Laura. Really? I only have that version? Must be in a Hush set. Yeah, the one that's on DeviantArt is just our card version. But whatever. I'll just use that. So yeah, here is Flora. It's an old card version. That whole thing needs updates. Save. Alright. Back to what I was doing. Yeah, she's a super old character. Like, she's mainly just like a dancer that you see in like a club and stuff like that. She's almost with what the Salsa Sisters would have had if they grew up in a better, grew up with a better childhood. Instead, they are strippers. Oh yeah, most of the time I try to bring back my characters or revamp them if they need it, such as Red. Like Red definitely needed a overhaul. Okay, so that's good. Move on to her whites. Should make the ice cream she's holding peanut butter flavor. Peanut butter and chocolate. Why not? Try to fill in any gaps here. Do the same thing for her chest. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through those ones myself. Oh yeah, Kaze Katu is great stuff. Been watching him work on that for years. Still sucks that what was it called? Was it Card Fighting Wars? Was that what it was called? Card Saga Wars. Too bad that never got finished. But at least like whatever build of it was put out and people played it on streams. So at least that happened. It got the recognition it deserved. Actually, I could do that, because as long as everything else is in a higher layer, I can do this. That way it saves me the headache of having to go in there. There we go. And then the gold, I can do that when I get there. Now the only stuff I gotta worry about are the stuff that I can't do that to. should be good. Do her clothing next. Make it super shiny when we get there. Should actually put some fur going over that. There we go. A little fluff around the gold squeezing on her. And the gold is on top. Fill this in. Might as well do the ice cream. Give her like a chocolate cone. Can see some of the characters trying to not act like they're animal base. So like if Tiffany accidentally got ice cream on her nose, you can see her just trying to lick it off like a dog would, or like a fox would. Or Marcy purring when she gets back scratches or something. Or Skylar scratching the base of her tail. Like, scratch the butt. I need your nose. Yep, pretty much. Like, scratch the butt. Clean up some of this. Let's do it This way. Oh yes. Can definitely picture Marcy squealing every time Skylar gives her a good slap on the ass. And then the kids are like, oh my god, no, and then they leave. Like Marcel is like, alright, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and Alara's like, no, don't leave me. Clean up the chin a bit. Mommy and Dad are just filing taxes. Oh yes. Yeah, big taxes. Just make sure the gold parts over. colored. That feeling when you're damn. Oh yes. Those moments where you're trying to get some sleep and you all of a sudden start hearing your parents go at it. That's why I did that one picture of Marcel and Alara laying in bed, just hearing Marcy and Skylar going at it. And they're just like, kill me. Okay. Tiffany seems to be fully colored. Can get started on doing her shading. Don't need this anymore. Since your experience with this sort of... Have any tips for art streamers and videos? Art streams and videos? Try not to use copyrighted try not to use music that will get copyrighted. I guess that would be the best way to put it. Because any music can get copyright claimed because, you know, you don't own it. Unless you're using YouTube's personal library, because those you can use during streams. Make sure you follow the rules so you don't get banned or put on timeout or whatever. Just yeah, I mean basically it, and then you just draw and talk. If you got something to talk about, then rants. I mean, you know me, I rant about fucking Sonic the Hedgehog all the goddamn time. Stu amuses me that the pair probably gave up on caring whether Alara was in or not. Yeah, after a certain point, they're just like, Alara, we're gonna fuck. Well, they're not gonna say it like that, but it's basically the gist of it. Like, Alara, mommy and daddy are gonna have some quality time. She's like, got it. Just grabs her shit and leaves. Probably calls one of her friends. In terms of fetish art, you have to do it in a way. It depends, because from what I understand the rules, technically anything, even whether they're clothed or not, can be considered fetish art or not safe for work. It just depends on how you go about it. Like, obviously, don't draw characters fucking. Don't draw cum. Although I've seen certain VTubers get away with that by saying it's milk or ice cream or whatever bullshit to make it look like cum. There's a fine line, and sometimes it just boils down to whether or not the website gives a shit. because the website is a site that is a thing that polices whether or not they're going to follow their rules. But just try to be as tasteful about it as you can, and just don't do obvious things like, oh, I'm gonna draw a character's dick. And then like the exception to that rule too is like if it's educational, then it's okay as well. Which technically this can be educational because I am, showing myself drawing something from start to finish, and even explaining some of the process every once in a while. So this can be passed off as educational, so it's up in the air. It's really hard to tell you what you can and can't do, because sometimes something you should be able to do can be cited as no, that's a no-no for some stupid reason. Somebody copyrighted the sound of rain for once? What the fuck? I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you can technically fight it if you take it to court, or whatever the case may be. Sadly, most people don't go to court for obvious reasons, because it's expensive as hell, which that whole system needs work when it comes to copyright. But yeah, usually YouTube will be like, no, that's stupid, and actually side with you. So it just depends on the scenario. Because you can't copyright rain anyway. So whoever thought they could do that, if they got put in taken to court for that, they would obviously lose. Because you can't actually copyright rain. Yes, I am a Sonic fan. Don't forget that she's in bright daylight at the beach. Yeah. I'm probably gonna put her underneath umbrella somewhere. Or I could just put her out in the full sun. Watch her fuzzy ass get a giant ass tan. Which is like, how does that work when she has fur? But we'll figure that out. But yeah, the copyright stuff on YouTube is just ridiculous, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. Because, like, people who don't own the content can still copyright claim you. Kind of like with the soundtrack Plock from the old Super Nintendo game. Somebody used sound clips from Plock and used it for their own music, and then tried to claim that. And I'm like, dude, this music existed before the website. So I don't know what the fuck you're trying to do. And then of course they dropped it because they didn't have anything to stand on. And that's like the other thing, it's like when sound clips are used for music, and even from other music, and then they get claimed, it's like, how does that work? Because the parts that get claimed were used from the originals. So what, can the originals claim the remixes, or like any music that uses sound clips from other media? Like, how does that work? Like, the whole music system is bullshit to begin with. Especially when it comes to like content creators on YouTube who are using the music as background filler for other things that aren't the focus. Like, if the music's not the focus, then it should be its own thing. I don't know. It's a headache. So it kind of just boils down to whatever the hell you can get away with. And if you really want to be careful, then just use the music that YouTube itself provides you, because they have like a whole library of music that you can download for your content. So just use that if you're really cautious. Am I using soft brush as an eraser? Yes. Yes, I am. I didn't know you stream it. I'm trying to stream more often, so I'm trying to stream in the morning and later in the evening. So I'm just trying to be more active with streaming. Tanning and tattoos will always be confusing when it comes to fur. Honestly, just roll with it. Just treat it like it's semi skin. That's the only way you're gonna wrap your head around it. Because you're either dyeing the fur to make it look like it has a tattoo pattern, or you just treat it like skin. That's kind of it. Like there's no real workaround. Like there is such thing as sun bleached, but that's kind of it. Can't really think of a scenario where suntan works with fur, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, you kind of just gotta make up your own shit. It's kind of like with Emerald, where she was blushing in the comic, and her blood is green, but I made her blush pink, and that's because, at least in the way that I draw or make my comics, blushing is represented with just like pink, or like, you know, lightened pink and stuff like that, or like, you know, I make the opacity a little low for blushing, and then I make it harder for like when they're drunk and stuff like that, or high. Green I associate with being sick, so if I'm gonna make a character like Gag or something, I'm gonna give them like a greenish shade. Feeling uneasy or something like that, I use like a bluish shade, and so on and so forth. So pretty much just boils down to personal choice. You just gotta roll with it. Yeah, just do cartoon logic for some stuff. When you there's no other way to explain it. Among the dozen or so tabs I'm flicking through, I've left a Nadine butt scratching pickup, and it's tickling. That's funny. Well, I'm gonna call it for now. I'm probably gonna save the working on this for tonight's stream. That way, I have more to do. If I get done with that early enough, though, I can work on something else. But yeah, I can save this for later tonight. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I'm between now and the next stream, I'm gonna probably take a break and get something to eat or something. But gonna work on finishing off the next Fat Lovers Club set, or to get ready to put those up and make the limited time set, and then probably work on whatever else I need to work on, like the comic stuff, and probably another collection set. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I will stream again tonight. And yeah, you guys have a good evening, day, afternoon, whatever time frame you guys are in. All right, you guys take care. Bye bye.